Welcome in, everybody, to another MLS Monday by Scarves and Spikes.
It's match week.
It
match
is.
week.
Unexpected.
Match week. Sorry, I should have warned you guys before this show started.
We have almost the whole crew.
I know.
Besides Gray and Jackson, who we will be giving some of their information out into the interwebs, not their credit card information or anything like that. But
we don't want to forget.
Okay, so their social security number.
No, we have. Look, MLS kicks off this week, guys. It is an exciting time. We have predictions to do. We have games to talk about. We have drama with other teams. Thankfully, not named Atlanta United to talk about, and lots of announcements coming. So, but we'll get into it. How are y'all doing?
Well, real quick before we get started, we got Champions League. CONCACAF Champions League 2 leading up to MLS opening weekend, MLS is back weekend. I don't know how much we'll hit on that.
Because it was too cold.
Yeah, the game Miami just forced a day later. You know how it is. Got to capitulate to
what Messi wants, Messi gets.
Right.
For an MLS Cup. Sorry.
But Tyler.
Get out of the freezer, whatever it is.
No, but Tyler, Tommy, Henry, I'm excited. It feels like just yesterday, Atlanta United were in the Eastern Conference semifinal against Orlando City. It feels like just yesterday, we had MLS Cup, really great MLS Cup, LA Galaxy beating the Red Bulls out west. But now here we go. MLS is back, or soon to be back. I'm excited. I know you guys are. This show, it's all about MLS, so we'll get to predictions and all that good stuff coming up. Buckle up. Stay tuned. It's going to be a fun show.
Yes, indeedy.
Tommy, you have a set of words since we started, by the way.
Tommy's iced out.
You guys were all going, and I didn't want to interrupt.
Feel ready to jump in whenever.
Well, when I don't show up on MLS Mondays a lot, so usually, I'm taking a nap around this time. But here I am. Well, I usually preparing myself for Monday Night Raw. That's what I'm doing. I wake up and I watch wrestling at 8:00, but I stayed awake for you guys. So,
thanks for doing that.
Hey, it's exciting. Like you said, we thought we were gonna have soccer tomorrow, and we don't. But it's here this week, and I'm excited. I mean, it's kind of like perfect timing, right? Like as soon as the Super Bowl ends, then you get that week break, and then MLS is ready to go. I mean, I love it. And then well, go ahead.
No. I was just going to tell everybody to pray for you because you have to get on a plane in a few.
I'm so scared. I'm so scared every time.
Another plane incident in Toronto.
I know. Like it's so and that one was like everyone lived, but still, like it went upside down. Like I can't go on roller coasters that go upside down, let alone an airplane that goes upside down. No, it's I'm hiding this one from my children. They haven't gone on a plane actually since they were in Atlanta in 2022. Yeah, I think 2022 they came out.
They're teenagers. I mean, they have smartphones. They're going to find out,
but
one way or another.
What airline?
We already know.
Delta.
I know.
But that was a Delta that flipped.
I know.
Yeah.
I was about to make a joke about Spirit, or something, and then it's like, oh no, freaking Delta flipped upside down.
Right.
Don't flip out about it. It's going to be fine.
So, I real quick. So I see Ariel put in the new hoodie. So I love this hoodie. I do. I talked about the problems with it without the pocket, right? Like I've tried. Like the one night, it was real late at night. Just figure out the state of mind I was in. I was trying to figure out what I could put in this hoodie. So I was finding random things in the house to try to fit in here. There's not many things that fit in this hoodie, I will tell you. But I wrote a really bad review on Adidas. I've never,
review.
I wrote a review because it says, like they keep sending me emails going, can you please review this new hoodie? And so I wrote a review, and it was, I'll have to find it. I will bring it to Wednesday's show. But let me tell you, it was the most I wrote this at 2:30 in the morning on a Saturday night. It was technically Sunday morning. And I was giggling the entire way. So I will bring that review.
Sugar-free gummy bear.
Oh no! There was sugar in that. There was sugar in that gummy, and so much more. But I wrote a great review, so I will bring it on Wednesday. That'll be my rant. But let me tell you, it's what's called the tease, Sydney. It's a tease for Wednesday.
I won't be here. I will be here for the Wednesday show. Unfortunately, no, you guys will be holding it down. So I'll be sure to catch up later on the podcast feed or on YouTube.
There you go.
Oh yeah, we have to
That's
do
Spice
that.
and
We
Lenny
are.
United podcast.
Yeah. So subscribe now.
Yep.
Send your screenshots
Yeah.
because we're going to be doing the raffle on Wednesday, so you can get that $25 to go get that kit. That is not coming till 19 days or whatever it is on Stupid Fanatics website. Get out of here, Fanatics! You've had all season to prepare for this. Look, I understand Miguel Almiron and Latte Lath are late, right? Like you had that, but there could have been you could have had a Saba jersey ready to go.
Hold
out
on,
in the
because this is an MLS show, so this is just an Atlanta thing. This is all 30 MLS teams having the same issue.
Oh wait,
we got to diversify. And
were you going to say a Cucho jersey?
Audiences.
Yeah,
I knew you were gonna. I was like, well, the Columbus Crew can't get any because all their players are gone.
no, y'all
So
go
generally-
definitely go to the whatever podcatcher of choice that you use, or maybe you don't use it, but you can still take a screenshot of you subscribe to the new podcast feed, and tag us on social media with it, and enter you in a chance to win that $25 gift card. So, and also just announced all of our dates for our shows, our live shows at the Signia Hotel, which, if you don't know, is the giant glass building right next to Mercedes-Benz Stadium. My wife's texting me, y'all just ruined any chance of a Fanatic sponsorship.
Fanatics
that went out
sucks.
the window days ago, years
But,
ago.
But no, Signia, we have quite a few shows there this year. We're going to be doing a bunch, obviously, for Atlanta United, but we're going to be doing every single Club World Cup match that is at the Bins. So even if you're not going to the Bins during those matches, you can still come and hang out at the bar. Come watch the game in there. Come hang out with us for the live show. But opening day, February 22nd, we will be there. All of us will be there.
Everyone.
Maybe.
Assuming
we'll see.
Tommy makes the flight.
Right.
I really Googled how long the drive is. 9.5 hours.
I can tell you from personal experience.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
Well, is it better than, do you want like a sore leg, or do you want,
No, I'll make it. I'll make it. Whatever.
No, y'all come hang out with us opening day.
Love to meet you guys.
Match, 5:30 to 6:30. And we'll be talking about the game, hanging out with the fans, hanging out with you guys. And then we'll go in there and watch Atlanta United absolutely destroy CF Montreal.
Josephless.
Josephless CF Montreal, who went to San Jose, and we'll mention San Jose a little bit.
We will.
Teaser.
So
my MLS Cup pick.
Speaking of mentioning all the clubs, this is the prediction episode. This is where we create all the receipts that somebody is going to go back later on down the road and show them and prove how terribly wrong every single one of us are. So
it's going to be playing in a locker room in MLS.
We're going to get like 50 clips from this video, from this stream in like October. People are like, was this y'all? Y'all said this, right?
Like Josh Wolf did a couple of years ago when Austin FC went to the Western Conference Final. He printed out like the prediction. Everybody thought they would suck, and they didn't suck that year.
Ronnie Dyla plays this for the players in the locker room before the game.
FEA.
Hey, it worked.
Right.
I think they did it for Shande Silva. I talked that man up, and he scores the game winner. In game 2. So maybe they do play our videos.
Yeah.
Maybe. So maybe. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, sorry, Tyler, to just jump in. Just kind of set the table. We did the top 4 in the East and West. Our MVP pick, our Golden Boot picks, who would win the Supporter Shield, and finally who will win MLS Cup. So. Again, like you said, Tyler, I'm sure people will be keeping receipts, and this will not come back to bite us in December where we're revisiting these predictions. But no, I'm excited. It's the 4 of us, and then you mentioned Gray and Jack, who also write for discoverthespikes.com. By the way, go there for Atlanta United coverage if you're so inclined, and subscribe to Patreon as well, and go to our store, get some merch. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and then come back Wednesday for our Atlanta United preview.
Yeah,
where we will definitely get everything wrong.
Yeah, and there will be receipts that will probably be
and we'll be doing predictions. We're actually going to keep track of the predictions this year. We did it for like 3 weeks, and then the team started going downhill. We're going to keep track of it, and we're going to ask all of you. So start thinking about what the reward or the punishment for first and worst. That's what we're trying to do out of all of us. So prepare, think about it. You got a couple of days to stew. Yeah.
Actually, I'm not worried about punishment.
MLS Cup.
There, so.
Yeah.
Punishment. Drink 10 of these.
Oh God!
10 glasses
on
of
the
beer.
live stream.
Yes. See how long you last. All right.
Right.
Without further ado, we're just having fun with this.
Not
one,
very
guys.
long.
Without
This is what
further
happens
ado,
when Tommy comes to MLS Monday. Let's talk
Bring
about
them
hoodies, damn it.
It's one appearance of the year.
So, Western Conference. We're going to start with who we predict is going to end up the top 4 at the end of the season when it's all said and done. Who is going to be at the top of the Western Conference? So, starting off with that one, Sydney, you're the first name up there.
One team in particular got a lot of love, by the way, within the top 4. I won't say you'll sense a theme here, but yeah, my top 4. I'll just get into it. I'll go reverse order. 4th place in the West, San Jose. I feel like San Jose is kind of the trendy pick, but maybe not so much of the trendy pick considering the great offseason they have had with Bruce Arena as head coach and sporting director, Arango, Martinez, some of the cast-offs from – not cast-off, but some of the players from the rest that Arena has played with or coached with or coached the players that he coached is what I'm trying to say in New England. So I think with the additions that they've made, that he's made over there in Northern California, I think San Jose will be a playoff team, and I would say in 4th in the West. LA Galaxy, number 3. I kind of docked them a few because of the injuries they had to, of course, Pooch and Paintsel. And of course, their roster and certainly with their roster. So I don't think they'll be the force that they were early in 2024, I should say, in all of 2024. I mean, they're defending MLS Cup champions. They still have the talent needed to get there, but I think there's a lot of question marks, especially given injury. I mentioned it already. So, say LA number 3. Number 2, LAFC, I think will be in the mix as well. Back in the mix, I should say, in the Western Conference. Denny Bwanga, of course, leading the way. Drew Stella a little bit on Giroux. How will he do? So I think LAFC will be the much stronger team out of the 2 LA teams, the El Tráfico teams in the West out there in Southern California. Then number 1 seed, I think, will be Seattle. Seattle just added tremendous pieces to its core. Great players that they've added. Jesus Ferreira, Paul Arriola, of course, Yelf Roldan there. I joke around. I call it the U.S. men's national team Northwest, I should say. So tremendous job done by their front office to really not rebuild that team, but really refocus that team from defense first to a more well-rounded attack. So I think Seattle's going to score a lot more goals. I think they're going to be among the teams top of the West, and I feel like they'll be finishing top of the Western Conference. So those are my 4. What do you want to go to next, Henry? What do you got?
Henry, I'm gonna put you on the spot, but really quick, let me jump in and say something. Because I see some people mentioning it over in the chat about a fantasy league. We actually just kicked one off over in our Discord, in our Patreon. Guys, if y'all don't know, you can join our Patreon for $1.17. Like
a month.
It's not much.
A month.
I'm not talking much, but when I do, it's going to be exciting.
It's going to be happy. No.
Yeah.
$1.17 a month. I mean, like, obviously, guys, we appreciate anything that y'all give us. Like, we have $5 tier, we have $10 tier, whatever. Maybe we'll have $100 tier, and that'll involve like midnights at Waffle House or something. I don't know. But get in
4 push-ups, and we'll have a calendar. We'll have a calendar of us.
Yeah, there you go. But no, patreon.com, get in. Any of those tiers get you into the Discord. So y'all hop in. We're it's not just that. Like, we have so much fun in there. We have, like, Friday nights have turned into Call of Duty night. We're talking soccer, we're talking MLS, we're talking food, pirates, whatever. It's fun. It's
if
good.
If you ever wanted to play Call of Duty with Sydney late at night, then absolutely join the Patreon for that. Not even for the soccer content, just for the Call of Duty.
Yeah. Patreon.com/Scarves and Spikes. So yeah, that's a little plug.
There's our commercial. All right, Henry, go ahead.
All right, Henry.
All right, let's do this. I'll do reverse order also. I have 4th in the West, the LA Galaxy. I think I'm the one that has them the lowest. look, you're missing Puig for a significant amount of the season. He is the little machine that keeps your team going. You've already lost Joveljic, and you're replacing him with Christian Ramirez. You're replacing him with also this other younger striker. I forget his name already. I think it's like Mateus Nascimento or something like that. I haven't seen him, so I don't have any comment on him. But I mean, it's hard to replace Joveljic. And then you're missing Paintsel for the first, month and a half, 2 months of the season. That's not easy to replace that attacking production. And so I think they're going to struggle early in the season. And then potentially, depending on their, second half of the season, summer moves, they could move up. But right now, I do have them a little bit lower, but still getting in the top 4. Number 3 for me is Minnesota United. I think they're one of the kind of underrated teams going into this season. They haven't made the flashiest moves, but it's because they have a decent foundation already. Like I just, before the show, I was looking at some of their attacking numbers from last season, and you have from their attack, Bongi Longwain, 11 goals, 4 assists, Tani Oluwaseyi, 8 goals, 6 assists, Robin Led, 7 goals, 15 assists in midfield. And then their DP striker that they signed middle of the season, Kelvin Yeboah, 7 goals, 1 assist in 711 minutes. Dude, that is insane production. So I can't wait to see a season of this Minnesota United team, a whole season. What they did, their off-season moves more so were directed at building depth. So I think that it's going to be interesting to see them a little bit more this season. So that's why I have them 3rd. Second, I have LAFC. Look, they're just perennial contenders at this point. Do they have the best LAFC squad ever right now? No. But they still have some solid, options. If they lose Christian Oliveira, I start to have question marks. It seems like he's going to move, but they're trying to bring in this Turkish guy, which I haven't really looked a lot into.
There's a lot of controversy around him, by the way. We won't get into it.
Yeah, there is some controversy around him. But still, I think LAFC is going to be a top contender in this Western Conference. And then first place for me, I will stick with Seattle Sounders. Look, they reinforce themselves. Sydney, you talked about it. You bring in Jesus Ferreira. You bring in Paul Areola. You bring in a couple of players to supplement this core that you have. And you're hoping that helps kind of turn on your attacking production, because last season it was a little disappointing for Seattle. Hopefully, the dream for Seattle is that Pedro de la Vega stays fit, plays significant minutes in 2025, and becomes what Seattle paid for him, which is an elite chance creator. He's still young. He's still definitely got that potential that they paid for him. We just have to see it. And I think this is, if there is going to be a season for that, it's this one, where he has a little bit more attacking talent around him to help him really stand out.
Cool. Tommy, what do you think?
I didn't put them in order. You just asked for the top 4, so I didn't put them in order. But
we thought let's assume it was top 4.
Yeah, I would say Seattle would be 1, and the LAs would be 2 and 3, whichever one ends up there. I'm not sure, but I'll just leave them there at 2 and 3. And then it was I was thinking Minnesota, but I wanted to do something fun with my last pick, and I didn't know if anyone else was going to do it, but obviously you did, Sydney, with San Jose. Now it's interesting because obviously, like, their offense, is getting much improved. They were second worst in the West in goals scored, and they were worst in goals allowed. So you look at that and say, can they improve both? Right? Because it's not just one. You've got to improve both to be able to jump in those standings. But I think they're going to be a cool story this year. Bruce Arena, we'll see here. I know whenever we brought up Bruce Arena for the Atlanta United position, people were, giving every emoji that had one finger in it to us, and it wasn't the thumb. So
Bruce Arena is like the Bill Belichick of MLS.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't Because there's going to be Bill Belichick people saying the Falcons don't do that.
Yeah.
We're not going to get there.
Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah.
But they're going to be a cool story, I think, this year. And they're going to be fun to watch because you always forget about them, right? Like, there's always a team in every sport in California that you just forget about that's actually there. And it's always San Jose. And it'd be nice to have a cool story with them. As long as it's not Vancouver, we're good.
Why not Vancouver?
Just never we're a never Vancouver show. Sorry.
Yeah.
Nobody listens to us in
We have to
Vancouver.
touch on Vancouver later.
Oh,
Eventually.
Eventually. I saw that and rolled my eyes.
Tyler, what do you think?
All right, so for me,
Are yours in order, by the way?
mine are in order.
I put mine in order.
I got the assignment.
I don't remember some of my other
The
answers.
implied
Though.
You understood the assignment.
So I have my little sneaky one at fourth place is FC Dallas. I think Lucho might be able to tie that entire group together, but Dallas, they were like weirdly busy in this offseason. And I think more so than maybe they got credit for. Like Lucho is the big one. That's kind of like the bow on top. But I mean, they just to give it really quick. I mean, they brought in a guy from North Texas SC, a bunch of free agents. They got Shaq Moore, who I still feel like has something to offer for sure.
Very underrated in the league.
Yeah, absolutely. A bunch of homegrowns coming up. And, I mean, like, I feel like they've got enough there to really be solid. I mean, you've got a lot of changes, but I really think, and it's not just about one player, but I think Lucho is kind of the one that maybe can bring it all together. They're just kind of my dark horse. I don't know. Got like
still got Petar Musa too.
Yeah. I mean, there's a ton. I mean, and of course they have lots of outgoing as well, so they have money to spend. You talked about it with Ferreira, Ariola, some of those guys going up to the rainy part of the country. But yeah, that's my fourth place. And then I still have Galaxy up there. I think they're going to struggle in the beginning of the season, but Atlanta fans know this very well. Red Bulls fans definitely know this very well for last year, but it's not about how you start. It's about how you finish in this league. You make it to the playoffs and anything can happen. And it sucks. Ricky Pooch being out. You have injuries, right? You have Paintsel out for 6 to 8 weeks or something. I don't know that that's going to be enough to completely knock them out. They'll be back in the summer. They'll get back into it. And I just think there's enough talent there to push them up closer to the top by the end of the season. So, and then I have San Jose as my second. I just think entertainment value aside, San Jose, like the players that are on that team are talented. And as much as we can joke around about Bruce Arena, the dude is like the winningest coach in the league. Now, sometimes that might be talking, about like the good old days with a guy his age, but he knows what he wants. He knows how he's going to coach. He knows the players that he needs to be successful. And yeah, we'll see how Joseph and Chicho and them handle it. And then,
sorry.
What's that?
I thought that was the last one. I was going to say that's a big question. How do they get on? How they kind of coalesce with each other.
Yeah. Again, it'll be entertaining no matter what, whether they're second or not. But no, and my top is Seattle. Seattle just to me is that one that's really, really hard to count out. And we can go through the transfers. I mean, I was just talking about Dallas. You got Ferreira. They desperately need a goal scorer. And my opinion has been for a minute, and I've told you all this on the show before, like Ferreira isn't all that to me. But I think he can be given the right coaching and the right team. And I don't know that there's many clubs in MLS that would be better for him to go to than Seattle. So they always find a way. It's just really hard to count them out.
Yeah.
So
they won't be the Zombie Sounders, I don't think, this year. I think all should be good the entire season.
Yeah.
For a change.
So, let's go to Gray. Gray had San Jose as number 4. LA, which I believe is going to be Galaxy. Yeah. And then LAFC second, and then Seattle as his top. So Seattle definitely being the common theme here.
Right.
And then Jackson had a surprise at number 4.
Yeah, he did.
Austin.
Whoa,
Yeah.
that's bold.
I know. We can revisit that at the end of the season.
Is this a Brandon Vasquez MVP campaign?
Hey. To have Jackson come on just to explain that
Right.
one. Yes.
I'm gonna need it. Yeah.
But above that, he's got LA Galaxy, LAFC,
Yeah.
and Seattle. I'll throw this out there really quick. I don't think LAFC is the team this year, but that's a
Yeah,
different
they'll stick around, but they're not as good as they've been in past years.
I feel like they're
they'll
lost.
stick Bwanga, of course. You know, he'll as he goes, that team will go, but just something that's been missing from them for a little bit since they won MLS Cup.
I just don't think they have an identity right now. So
Pass the
All
ball to Bwanga.
yeah, exactly.
Interestingly, 5 of 6 of us picked Seattle first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder what that
And-
sentiment will be around the league around them. Again, they had a really good off season, so
They got a sweet kit too. I love it.
they do.
Yeah.
Hey, Tyler, real quick, break in between this. Travis actually brings up a really good point. So if you don't know this and you have T-Mobile, we're not sponsored by T-Mobile, but T-Mobile call us. MLS Season Pass is free this week. I think it goes to like Tuesday through Friday or something like that. So you can go in if you have T-Mobile, log in and set it up so that you can get MLS Season Pass for free. And then
That's
a
a
couple
great
weeks
deal.
later, you can get the MLB Pass too.
It's
There
a
you
great
go.
deal if you're a
It really
T-Mobile
is.
customer, so that's good.
If
T-Mobile
not,
gives out a lot of free stuff.
find your mom who's got T-Mobile and beg her. She always asks me, what's it worth?
A lot.
Priceless.
So, all right, jumping over to the East. Let's go backwards, Tommy.
Oh, no. I didn't write my answers down,
Oh,
but
We got it.
I'm just going to go from top to bottom because I'm
Okay.
thinking it in my head, I think. And then jump me in if I was wrong. I said Miami first,
Yeah.
Atlanta second,
Yeah.
Cincinnati 3.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Charlotte.
yeah.
got
He remembered
You
his
got
own
it.
guesses.
You remembered it.
I didn't write that down. Look, I think Miami's still going to be really good, right? And you know, you can't call it MLS without calling it Messi League Soccer, right? That's what the name has changed to, so we have to respect it. I still think they have a good year, absolutely. And Messi missed a lot of time, right, because of an injury. So I think he's going to be going for better numbers, and that leads into eventually what'll be my Golden Boot leader as well. But I think that it's going to. I think they're going to still have a good team overall, but I think Atlanta's going to give them a run, and it's just not just a homer pick. I mean, I've been even looking around what other people are saying around the league. This is the most exciting team basically in the offseason, besides I think San Jose. I think San Jose is really exciting, but like they should with what they have, a new manager. You know, obviously it's going to be real important how they start. Right, we've been talking about that for a while there, but I think Atlanta's going to be good. Cincinnati, I mean, they're off season, like all the Ohio teams right now, like their fan hoods just going up and down, right? Buying lots of Advil for how they're handling this off season. So like Cincinnati feels good. Columbus just feels like crap still. They don't have anything to look forward to. And with Charlotte, they were a good defensive team last year, right? And you know, they added some offensive pieces in the offseason. Let's see what happens with them there. It would have been the Crew Cucho and gang would have been in that top 4, but with the changes there, obviously they got to be out now. We'll see what happens. Maybe we do a redraft at them in the middle of the season and then we put them in there. But right now, I mean, you can't expect what they're going to do. So no, they're out.
Who we got next, Henry?
Henry, yeah, jump into
Did
it.
we skip Tyler?
Well, I'm
Oh, okay.
Whoever.
So I don't know. All right, fine. I will go next. We're going top to bottom now, so I'll do that also. My pick for first in the East right now is FC Cincinnati. Look, they have one of the proven chance creators in the league right now in Evander. Now he is okay. I'm not going to say anything more because I don't want to spoil stuff that's to come in this show, but I think he's going to be a very important player for Cincinnati. And then Kevin Denke, I think he's also going to, that combination is going to be very key for Cincinnati. And I think they're going to have one of the more potent attacks in the league. So I think that alone, combined with their already pretty solid defense, that has them top of the East for me. Number 2, I have Miami. I still think they're going to be competitive. I still think they're going to be one of the better teams, but I have my doubts a little bit on them. And I hesitate to pick them first because I don't know what Mascherano brings. And look, people will tell me like, well,
anybody does at this point.
He kicked butt in preseason. I'm like, yeah, he went to freaking Panama and beat some team in Panama and then went to Honduras and beat a team in Honduras. But MLS competition, they barely tied at the end against Orlando. So like until I see them actually play teams at this level, until I actually see them against MLS competition, it's hard for me to really say, okay, this is the same Miami from last season that won the Shield and set the points record. This is the same Miami, and the Miami that is, at that level or above. And look, you lose Diego Gomez, you lose a few other pieces, and you replace them with other guys that, yeah, they look good. Yeah, they have potential. But I don't know if I trust it. So that's why I have them second. Number 3 is Atlanta. Look, man, when you get Miguel Almiron back and you smash the transfer record that was already smashed in the same offseason, and you get a guy that just, 2 guys that really, really complement your attack really well because of their, qualities of being fast and feeding into this idea of, Atlanta wants to be more direct. They want to be more, they want to be quicker on the ball. That idea, I think, is going to lead to Atlanta's attack catching a lot of defenses, out of position, off guard. I think it's going to be good for them. And I think, yeah, Atlanta's back. I'm going to go ahead and say it. And this is going to get clipped. And if this team ends anywhere below like 6th this season, they're going to come back and show me this video, and that's going to be fine with me. But yeah, I think Atlanta will be 3rd. And then number 4 for me is Charlotte. They have made some interesting additions also with Wilfred Zaha. I'm interested to see what he brings. And this might be Patrick Ajimank's season. I know a lot of people are high on him. I know he's shown he's had some interest from the championship. So, he's got stuff, and we just got to see what exactly that is.
Can I ask you a question quick? Oh, sorry. Real quick.
Tommy.
Henry, I'll ask you a question. Do you think the goals for or the goals against are going to get better or worse for Miami? Like, I mean, obviously they led the league in goals, right? Like, was it 79, I think?
Something like
79 goals. Do you think that they can't keep up with that this season?
It's hard to know how Messi and Suarez are going to age, because you think at least Suarez coming into last season, I thought was like, oh, well, his legs are gone. He's not going to do anything. And he's like one of the Golden Boot contenders. So he's aged a year. I don't know if that's going to mean he drops off. He looked decent in preseason. I don't think they'll have the same amount of goals. I think it'll be a little less. They've brought in some other attacking additions. Like Tadeo Allende has looked very good to me in preseason. Yeah, I mean, I don't think they'll have more than what they had last season. I think it'll be, if anything, a little bit less. I'll hit the under on that. And then as far as goals allowed, their defense, I don't really think it's improved all that much this offseason. It's almost the same. So I'm gonna say, it probably stays about the same, or it goes down. Goals allowed probably goes up a little bit or stays the same.
It was 49 goals last year, exact same as Atlanta United.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And it did feel like that too, because like it seemed like their goals against came in like all of a sudden they're down 3-0, and then they win 5-3. Right. You one bathroom break and they score 5 goals, right?
Yeah,
like that's how it felt Miami games are going.
You score a crap ton of goals, and who cares how many you concede? As long like if you concede 3 and you score like 5, then what does it matter?
Well, you would also see teams try to play against Miami and Messi even though there's 20 years of history saying don't do this, where they would just sit there
Right.
and try to park the bus and wait for Messi to take shots.
Yeah.
And those teams that don't have a guy named Brad Guzan usually didn't fare too well when they tried to do stuff like that. And so when you don't have a team that's trying to score goals against them, like even though the number was low, I think had teams put them under pressure a little bit more, those numbers probably would have been a lot higher. There's my 2 cents on Miami. Anyway, carry on. Sydney, your turn.
No, so I'll kind of give my top to bottom. First, Miami, just because of the talent they have. I know you guys, Tommy and Henry, you guys were talking about defense being a bit of concern. I think the same will be it'll be a little similar in 2025. I think still with Messi, Will Suarez, the attacking talent that they provide, and the players that they have behind them, I think will keep them atop the Eastern Conference. Later on in the season, what happens that still be determined, but I think if they remain healthy, I think they'll still remain toward the top. Columbus in second, even though they lost Cucho. I still think that Wilfred Nancy is one of the best managers in MLS, if not the best. And I think because of that, they'll still find themselves fairly high in the Eastern Conference standings. I don't know if they'll win MLS Cup. I don't know if they'll make a deep playoff run. I'm just not convinced, top to bottom, that they have the talent that's needed to win the Shield, win MLS Cup, win a trophy. But I think, again, with Nancy's man management skills, I think he'll be able to get this team to where it needs to be. Cincinnati, I think, is going to be third, I feel. But that depends on Denke, Evander, how they get along, how they build chemistry. Now that it's official on both players, or Evander, that's obviously the big signing, the big move, and the catch for player trade, the result of that. So he is now in Cincinnati. He's now the new number 10 in Cincinnati. And again, how will that chemistry work with Kevin Denke and him? I think if it works, I think if they get things clicking, this attack will be as good as any in Major League Soccer in 2025. And then I think Atlanta United in fourth. I think the body of work that Evander has already demonstrated, and we'll mention him in a little bit, I have a feeling, the body of work that he provides in MLS. I mean, he knows the league. He's been in the league for a while. I think Atlanta attack will still be pretty strong, pretty solid. Lotte Lot will be, of course, the centerpiece of that attack. Of course, you have Almiron coming in. You have Saba still there. You have Moranchuk still there. You have that midfield. Kleek, I think, will provide a shot in the arm to the attack from his spot in the midfield. So I think this attack, more than anything, will be much improved. And I said it before, if Atlanta United does not finish in the top four, it's going to be a massive disappointment considering the talent they've brought in, the skill they've brought in, especially in the attack now. Can they stay healthy? That's the big question. Leonard is out for a few weeks to start the season. Almador, we don't know his situation. I assume he'll be back pretty soon, but he's still dealing with a hamstring. So those are the two key pieces. But depending on how that turns out, I think this team will be really good. And I'm going to say fourth in the Eastern Conference.
Okay.
Tyler.
Well, I'll start since we reversed it. The Uno reverse card was played by Tommy. I'll start at the top. There's only one right answer here, gentlemen, and it is Atlanta. Atlanta's going to be number one by the end of it all. I don't care. Call me a homer. Clip it. Yeah, here we go. No, I mean, I'm not trying to obviously we are an Atlanta United podcast, and I'm trying to look at this as unbiased as possible. But on paper, Atlanta has one of the best teams. And I feel like we said the same thing last year, so knock on wood, things don't go the same way. But, I mean, you have to expect a lot more out of Atlanta United this year. Like, you're bringing back Miggy. That right there by itself is massive. Top 3 winger, by the way. And then you have an incoming transfer that broke another record. Like, you have to expect bigger than what they've done in the past 5 years. And
Penny Martinez.
Right.
Sorry.
That was 6 years
ago. It's that time of the year.
No, but Atlanta. I mean, what am I doing if I don't pick Atlanta? And then I've got Miami up there. No thanks at all to their coach, because I'm going to be honest. I think their coach is a net negative for this team. I really do. Unless he steps out of the way and lets Messi run the whole thing, which might be what's happening anyway.
It's exactly what's happening.
Exactly what's happening now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think him being there brings anything to the team. And it's no disrespect to Mascherano. Like, cool as a player, but he was not the guy for Argentina for the U20. Was it U22s or whatever? U20s?
The youth national teams, yeah.
Whatever. One of the youth, yeah. I just, it didn't get me. Really didn't get me. So whatever. But Miami's there because you have to respect the sheer talent.
Okay.
And then behind them, I have Cincinnati because I think they've made the right moves. They've done what they need to do. And a lot of the same reasoning I gave Atlanta. Like, they spent big. They went big. They've done a lot of things that they need to do to get back on track, and they've gotten healthy, which is a really big factor. So I'll give Cincy third place. And then I went back and forth with this one. I ultimately gave it to Charlotte. My other one that I thought about giving it to was actually, as much as I hate to say it, Red Bulls. But I gave it to Charlotte because I really think you've got Ajimong, who is in a way where he's playing confident. He's kind of got the right mindset, I think, this time around. And then, and I saw, I think Ricky or somebody in the chat said earlier, like, it seems like a lot of this hinges on Zaha being really good. And I mean, I think that's what you have to hope for at this point in the season. You know, you bring in a DP, like we're hoping the same for Miggy and for Latte Lath, and Cincinnati's hoping the same for Denke. Like, all these new people coming in, all Jonathan Bamba at Chicago. You have to hope for it, but on paper, it seems right. So,
yeah,
those are my four. Gray had Atlanta. Gray, what's up? Miami, Cincinnati, and Red Bulls. I didn't even look at that.
There you
go.
go.
Me and Gray were almost exactly the same. He had Red Bulls. And then Jackson, Miami, Cincinnati, Atlanta third, and then Charlotte in fourth.
I'll throw this out there quick because I know we got to kind of move on. You know, Charlotte, nobody's mentioned Kalina. I think Kalina, who probably the best keeper in MLS, one of the best shot stoppers in MLS, I think he'll win them a lot of games like he did last season. So I think, I don't want to call him the X factor, but he's going to be definitely a big part of what Charlotte do. Probably more than Zaha, I would argue. Just to throw that out there real quick.
Yeah,
but
it's a good shout. All right. MVP. Henry, you've been stuck in the middle both times, so you go first. Who's your MVP?
Okay. Put me on the spot. Yeah, I kind of hinted to it earlier. My MVP for 2025 is Evander. I just think he is, once again, a proven chance creator in MLS, a proven commodity, and he's going to a team where he's going to have what should be one of the hottest strikers in the league to pair up with and feed him assists and do all that. And he can also score some great goals. If you've seen him play, you know that he's got talent. You know that he's got an ability to dribble and to just be magical. I can't even describe it. He's that good. So I fully expect him to be MVP this season because I expect big things out of Cincinnati, and to me he's going to be Cincinnati's best player.
Yeah, I echo that, Henry. Evander, for me, pretty much for the reasons he's just said. I feel like their striker situation, even without having seen Denke play a official, real, actual match in MLS, I feel like he's going to be better than what Portland had. It's a much better system, I think. Much better opportunity to, really put up good numbers. A much better team, top to bottom. Even with, you take him out of the equation. You look at what Portland did. They don't even sniff the playoffs. So, understandably, he got a lot of MVP votes. I feel like it kind of took away from a few other players, but Evander, for me, will get his MVP in 2025 with FC Cincinnati.
Lionel Messi's winning it again. I'm sorry. If it's even close, right? If it's close with a couple guys, Messi's going to get it. It's just how the league is, how they're going to promote it. It's not a conspiracy thing. It's just if it's close, I think Messi's going to get it here. He played he started 15 games last year, 20 goals, 16 assists. Like, if he stayed healthier, those numbers would be crazier, right? I think he's going to end up doing it again. and that's why I put him. And like also like if they end up winning the Shield as well, like obviously that's gonna be huge to say that they won the Shield and he led the league in goals, which is spoiler. He's also my Golden Boot guy as well. There, again without the injuries, I think he gets it. He gets it last year, so yeah, look, they're gonna take advantage of him as much as you can. And I think Evander's gonna have a good year. I also think there's gonna be some growing pains, there a little bit, but again, it's MLS, Messi League Soccer, baby.
It's hard to argue with that logic. I mean, it really is. If it's close, I mean, we went on a whole tangent last year about Messi winning when he didn't deserve to win, but whatever.
We thought there was no chance.
Yeah.
Right? Because we said he didn't play enough games.
Didn't play enough
right?
games, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure enough.
And yeah, I mean, I don't remember the voting. Did they have the voting? And wasn't it like
they did,
pretty hands down?
Yeah.
Because of one group.
Yeah.
You know, it's divided up with journalists, player, whatever. Anyway, it's annoying.
Right.
I look, y'all are gonna call me a homer. I don't care. It's Miggy. Miggy's winning MVP. Just because. There's the analysis y'all come for. No,
Care
it's Miggy.
to elaborate.
Yeah,
think
Miggy
of your
because-
predictions. Your prediction, whatever our prediction thing is, and the loser gets it. Just remember, it's going to be Tyler that ends up losing this unless Atlanta United wins every single game this season.
Why I'm not worried.
That receipt,
just
it is 47 minutes into this episode. I'm coming back.
Right.
No, Miguel Almiron. Dude, he's just a different player, and I think a lot of teams are going to look at him as 2018 Miggy, and they're not ready for 2025 Miggy. And he's going to win MVP. Top 3 winger, by the way.
I don't know.
Gray agrees with me. Miggy. Jackson, a little more down to earth, messy, but then he sees caveat, public opinion, except for mine and Gray's, gives it to Evander, who absolutely cooks with Dinky in Cincinnati.
We'll see with Evander again.
But it'll be Miggy.
Big F.
Really quick thing that I wanted to jump in while we were on the topic of Miggy. Someone asked in the chat, and I'm trying to find the message, but they asked, could Miggy win Newcomer of the Year?
I don't think so because he's played in the league already.
Is it like you couldn't have played in the league at all, or is it like I don't even know what the rule is, but
yeah, I don't think he's eligible.
Okay.
But
well, since Messi hasn't played soccer since early November, he's actually up for Newcomer of the Year as
well. Yeah.
Right.
Donnell's got a good one too. I see some names getting popped out, but Benteke is a good shout, and then
yeah, for sure.
Marcus Sang
for MVP.
Christian Espinoza. Anyway. So lots of good ones. All right. So now Golden Boot. I guess I'll just go because I've thrown y'all on the spot multiple times. For me, it's Latte Lath. It has to be Latte Lath. I mean, you paid $22 million for the guy. The expectations are there. We'll see if he thrives on the pressure, but they didn't go after Latte Lath just because they thought he had a cool coffee name. Like they went after him because he fits every box that Atlanta needed. And if you don't expect your record-breaking transfer to win the Golden Boot, then what are your aspirations actually? So to me, that's the only answer. I mean, there's plenty of it could be's, but Latte Lath has to be the guy.
Yeah, I agree. It's Latte Lath is going to win it. You know, just the pace, just the ability he has, just what he's brings to the table based on what he's done in the championship. And people scoff at that and say, yeah, it's only the championship. No, I mean, the championship is, for the most part, it's competitive. I mean, there are, of course, some bottom feeders, some minnows, but it's a competitive league, and there are a lot of, there's a lot of parity, near the top, not at the very top, but near the top, where it really brings up the best in teams looking to get promotion, looking to move up to the Premier League. So Latte Lath certainly not the tallest player, like we talked about Henry on our 3 takeaways from the preseason match against FC Dallas, but he does have that ability to get up in the air and make plays from there. Of course, his pace and his pressing are going to be tough for teams to deal with. And I think that's going to lead to a lot of goals for him and a lot of goals for his teammates. But as far as Golden Boot, I think Latte Lat is it.
I agree with you all. I have Latte Lat as my Golden Boot winner for 2025 for all the reasons that you all described. I mean, look, this is the most expensive, I believe it's the most expensive signing that, well, yeah, it has to be, that Garth, Chris Henderson have ever done. And it's the most expensive signing in MLS history. Like, you don't make that kind of investment unless you're sure that this guy is going to take your team to the next level. And I think that's what he's going to do. We got our first look at him in preseason on Saturday against Dallas, and he looked solid. I mean, he didn't get he got 45 minutes, but he didn't get a whole lot of minutes with the starting core. But he looked good in the minutes that he had. He presses. He's very active. He's on the front foot. He's very smart. You could see his speed if you saw some of his plays. There was one, and I mentioned it on the takeaways video, and I'll mention it again. He steals the ball off a center back and then runs around him and gets a shot off that just barely goes wide. But you start to see what kind of quality he brings to this team. And so I think he's going to absolutely feast in this league, and he's gonna absolutely destroy things.
Agreed.
I think it's going to take a little bit of time for Latte Lath to really gel with this team. So come back February 17th, 2026, and I'm going to tell you, Latte Lath is going to be the Golden Boot person next season, right? This year, I mean, I've already said who it is. I think Messi ends up getting the Golden Boot this year. He's going to get one before he leaves.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not too much to really add to. It burns my soul to pick this, right? But like,
blink twice if the battered hands are
nose.
holding a gun to your head.
Held your nose to do it anyway.
Well, guys, I got to tell you, I'm switching.
No.
I always got all my
Get
props
out.
laying around here. He's gonna get it at one point, though, and like it burns me to say that, right? Like it's the easy way out there, but like I think it's gonna happen
Not
this
if
year.
Brad has anything to say about it.
I mean, he only plays him twice, so
That 2 times might be enough.
All right,
You never know. I mean, but again, hard to argue against Messi at any point. So I get it.
Yeah.
Gray, Latte Lath as well. Jackson throwing out one. Denny Boanga again says he beats out Latte Lath, who's forced to share the load with Atlanta's other attacking pieces, which is a fair point.
Good shout. Yeah.
So I do think Atlanta absolutely has the realistic chance of having one of the higher goal tallies overall this season.
Yeah.
All right. Supporter Shield. Sydney.
Miami. Yeah, I kind of mentioned it earlier. If they stay healthy, especially they meaning Messi and Suarez, but if they stay healthy, I think Miami can challenge for the Shield again. Not only challenge, but win the Shield. Again, that defense is kind of a question mark for them. It was last year to some extent, but it's still a good team. Can Mascherano motivate them to play to the level that they need to play to? I think it's the big question. I think that's a question a lot of people around the league are asking. But yeah, for me, it's Miami until proven otherwise.
you know my answer. Just skip me.
Did you you really? I think they've been talking behind our back. Freaking Miami, trying to sneak around, change rules everywhere.
They took our Tommy from us.
Right. Who you got, Henry?
I have Cincinnati, and I said it. Like I think they're going to be huge this season. With Denke, with Evander, I think they're going to be the best team overall in MLS. They won the Shield. What was it? 2 years ago? It was 2 years ago, right?
It feels like longer than that.
Yeah,
I think felt like 13 years.
Yeah,
I think they get back because they have a good balance both in attack and defense. And yeah, I said Evander's going to be MVP, and I think part of that's going to be him taking them to another Shield. So,
okay,
what do you got, Tyler?
it's Atlanta.
Of course it is.
You're so tired of me. It's Atlanta.
I thought we were just an Atlanta United podcast.
Somebody's got to pick it. Somebody has to be realistic about it. All right. Atlanta has to win that trophy at some point, and this is the year. Gray said Seattle, which is
a very trendy pick. Seattle,
yeah. I mean, this is the thing. Seattle they're always there to do something. You just never know.
Yeah.
And then
screw up our predictions.
Yeah. Unless you choose Atlanta like me. Jackson going with Miami as well for Supporter Shield. So
man, we didn't do wooden spoon. I didn't even think about that.
We should.
We can add that in just
at the end.
At the end.
Start thinking about it.
Yeah, you have one more category.
Yeah.
All right, and that one category is everyone. It's USL MVP. Now we know we have a lot of names here, everybody. When you think of USL, you think of one man, right? A guy that is so fast. He's on our intro. He's so quick on. He's on the MLS
well, if you're watching
intro.
on YouTube, not the MLS intro, but on the Wednesday YouTube intro.
Well, the MLS intro, he's actually there. He's just so fast. You don't see him come onto the MLS Money entry. So I secretly polled everyone in this group, and they all said with their eyes that Jurgen Damm will be the USL MVP. Now,
He's
Oakland, if you want to send me a kit, I'm cool with it. I'll wear it every single day, fall asleep with it. But congratulations to Jurgen Damm.
Hey,
so
real
MVP.
Oakland Roots their kits are pretty sweet. Not gonna lie.
So what about MLS Cup champion though?
He's always trying to keep us on track.
Sydney, you go ahead.
The one,
who you got?
Putting me on the spot now.
Yeah, let's go.
No, we mentioned Seattle is kind of the trendy pick for a Supporter Shield. I don't think they'll win the Shield, but I think they win MLS Cup. I think with the players they've added to their core, where we mentioned them, it was Metzler returning, obviously one of the longest tenured coaches in the league, the respect he has in the locker room. We didn't mention Jordan Morris. Morris hasn't got anywhere. Yeah, the fine season last year. Yeah, they just have the pieces, I think, top to bottom, to certainly become one of the top teams in the West, if not win it altogether. And I know I said they'll win the West, or they at least finish first in the Western Conference standings, and I think they'll ultimately win the West. But I think more than that, they're going to win MLS Cup, and that's just where I see it right now. I think the defense too has it's very as good as any in the league right now. They have a good core of players. Paul Rothrock is one that has kind of rave reviews from Sounders fans and has really acquitted himself to the team even at a young age. But yeah, I think Seattle is probably one of the more well-rounded teams in MLS. I think for that reason, they are my pick to win MLS Cup 2025. You can clip it, come back to it, end of the season to see.
It's okay. Y'all are all getting clipped by default.
Yeah,
I've been running Atlanta this entire time.
I'm
so y'all are in
sure.
it by proxy. Henry, what you got?
I'm going to pull a Tyler. I'm going to say Atlanta.
Let's
I got
go,
Atlanta.
Henry. Somebody knows ball.
Look, man, Atlanta, I expect them to be among the top teams this season. And look, last season in the playoffs, they were the worst team in the playoffs. They were the worst team going into the playoffs. And they still managed to beat Miami. They still managed to make it to the Eastern Conference semifinal. I think with a much better team now and finishing in a better position, getting more games at home, they are going to make it much further this time around. And I do think they go all the way. So that's my reasoning, is I think they will do much better in the playoffs, even if they aren't the best team in the regular season.
Tommy, the bro show. I'm knocking on wood, man. It's happening.
Wooden spoon down, bro show? Come on.
No.
We're done.
After watching how Miami took that loss to Atlanta, I think they're going to be more motivated than they ever have been. I do think it's going to be Miami and Atlanta in the Eastern Conference Finals because they're going to be 1 and 2, right? And they can't meet each other until then. So, unfortunately, gentlemen, Fuck that. Atlanta United, baby.
Let's go.
The redemption arc is complete.
Yeah, and if you're on audio, I put the stupid battered Heron's head on. No offense, Chris and Danny. And then I ripped it off and threw it at my dog and put my Atlanta United hat on.
Poor dog.
Yeah.
She was licking herself. I had to stop it anyways.
Sniper.
Tom?
Atlanta's winning MLS Cup. I don't know what else you want me to say. Atlanta United is winning MLS Cup in 2025.
They're winning everything, according to you.
They're
even winning Open Cup. They're not an Open Cup, but they're going to win.
They're going to find a way.
They got money in the bank. They have a money in the bank briefcase. Of course they're going to win the U.S. Open Cup.
Winning it all. There is a difference. This is kind of what you were talking about, Henry, but there is a difference in this team that the playoffs gave them that you wouldn't have had this year. Going into this year, had they not done what they did in the playoffs, you would not have the amount of excitement, not just fan excitement, but talking to Ronnie Dyla, talking to Garth Lagerwey, talking to Chris Henderson, talking to the players, like there's a breath of fresh air that this team has not had since like before COVID. It just feels different. And then I go back to trying to think with my head, not my heart. But again, on paper, you already showed that you can beat Miami, and Miami hasn't changed a whole lot. You have changed a lot, and it was better than it was last year. So they got to win it. They're going to win it this year. Period.
We'll see.
Gray.
It's all on record. It's all on record.
Hang on. Gray is Atlanta as well. Jackson agreeing with Sydney, Seattle.
There you go.
Saying that Pedro de la Vega is going to have a breakout run as well. So shout to Pedro, not our Pedro, the other Pedro.
There's
is that going to be our MLS Cup final? Seattle versus Atlanta.
Could be.
Could you imagine?
How about that for narrative?
All right. The Garth Lagerway Derby for the final.
And Chris Henderson.
And the Chris Henderson, yeah. And the Miggy because of the Discovery Rights story.
No, absolutely.
So
sorry.
We have what do you got?
I was going to say real quick. I know we're kind of talking about Wooden Spoon. What are we thinking real quick for Wooden Spoon? Maybe just give one team that you think, one or two teams that you think may finish toward the bottom of the league. I feel like maybe Portland. It's just Evander.
Whoa.
The loss of Evander is going to just
worse
the team down.
Worse?
Probably toward that. I mean, Evander without Evander, that team, like I said, they didn't even sniff the playoffs. So
I mean,
they could be in
worse?
the mix. That being said,
what a drop off.
Well,
this is about to get
spicy.
I
mean, it's not
that
a drop off, to be honest with you. I mean, if you look at the 2024 standings, they finished with what 47 points.
Hard hat.
And we know San Jose is not going to finish with 21 like they did last year. But I think there's going to be some drop off from Portland. Realistic pick though will be probably San Diego. I think not by much. I don't think they'll have a terrible season.
The newcomers getting shafted.
I don't think they'll have a terrible season, but I think it'll just, they're a new team. And it could work out in their favor that a lot of teams won't know what to expect. But I don't know. Those are kind of my two picks right now. Toronto, of course, could be the same, because they didn't really do – I don't know, a ton, to be honest with you. So it's going to be tough for Robin Fraser in that first season, but maybe those might be three teams that will probably not have the best 2025. You guys obviously feel differently. So who are your teams?
I'll say there's two teams that I have. One's the Spork and one's Spoon. You could just talk amongst yourselves on which one's which, but I'm going to say it's going to be Philadelphia and New England.
Okay.
Those would be my bottom two.
Henry, what do you got?
I'm going to agree with Philadelphia just because they haven't really done anything this season except for sell Jack McGlynn. And
go into debt.
Yeah, go into debt for not paying $700 to some team somewhere. I don't expect them to be very competitive. I expect them to be at the bottom. The other one, I'm going to agree with Sydney. I'm going to say San Diego. They are the new guys. I know they have, Chucky Lozano and a few other signings that, could work together. And maybe in preseason they've had their moments, but you're the new team around the block. Like, I got to see you play a little bit more before I truly believe in you. I want to believe that they're good. I want them to have the start that St. Louis had, because I think that'd be really cool for them as an expansion club. But I just don't trust them right now. And also, for the record, Sydney, 5 of the 9 MLS experts on MLSsoccer.com definitely agree with you, because they had San Diego 15th in the West.
Yeah. We'll see.
Tyler, you got your hard hat on.
Who's yours?
Philly was definitely up there for me. I kind of went back and forth with them in Chicago, but I do think Jonathan Bamba
Chicago will prove
might be the reason that they don't end up in a crappy spot this year. But I'll give y'all a weird one. And this goes totally against what Jackson said earlier in one of our other categories. But I'm going to say
I know where you're going with this. Oh, I don't know about Austin. I think there'll be some improvement with.
I don't know, man.
I don't think they'll be in this game.
They just haven't done enough for me. Like, look, our boy is over there, and he can make some things happen. But I just don't know that team is. I don't know that they're where they need to be, in any way. You got a goal scorer, but do you have anybody that can get him the ball consistently? And you got your coaching staff is just. There's a lot of question marks there for me.
They may sneak into the playoffs, but I don't think they'll be wooden spoon. There'll be some improvement, but
if I had to nail one, and I think this was kind of an agreement, most of us, Philly though, like,
yeah.
And I hate to say that because I knock on wood for, but yeah, Philly, man, it was a rough offseason.
Yeah,
it's gonna break their fan base like this year, absolutely. Like they were already upset, right? They've been broken, but like now it's like, okay, we're getting rid of him. Maybe we're gonna spend some money with this new manager. Oh, we've got some problems as well behind the scenes. Oh, and like it's just like every part of the off season, like at least the crew got it over in a week, right? Like it was a week, and it was like, all right, we got rid of a couple guys, we're good.
Rip the Band-Aid off,
right?
Yeah, it just felt like every week it was like, all right, here's the days of our Philadelphia lives, right? And there is. And I'm sorry, you just won the Super Bowl, so I don't care.
Yeah, I mean they don't care about the Union. They have the Eagles Super Bowl, so
yeah, beat up fans. I'm sure there too.
That's
their Super Bowl.
Saying Nashville. A lot of people in the chat saying Toronto. A lot of people saying Toronto.
Toronto's more likely than Nashville, to be honest.
I think Nashville actually might be sneaky good this year.
Yeah,
whatever. Stupid Nashville.
I mean, they have drama of their own with Insigne, right? They've been trying to get rid of him, and they still haven't been able to.
I know.
And now there's like talk of them like just not playing Insigne to try to like bore him out of there. Yeah. So I don't know how that's gonna go.
That will end great, by the way. That will end fantastically.
Yeah. There is one team I want to ask about. DC United. Do we think that they're going to be spoon level?
They're sporking it for sure.
Yeah, I'm not convinced. I mean, it's pretty much. I mean, they lost Cleek, of course, to Atlanta. They still have.
No, they did not lose Cleek to Atlanta. Atlanta robbed
them. No, absolutely. I mean, Benteke is still there, but outside of that, who do you have? He was their attack in 2024, and Cleek helped to set him up in some of those goals, but I don't know. It's going to be another long season for DC. I think Troy Lacine certainly on a very hot seat going in. I don't know if they'll be wooden spoon, but I don't see them as a playoff team again in 2025. I don't know if Lacine lasts the season, to be honest with you. Not to get us too off track, off the original question, but the seat's pretty hot, and he'll need to get this team back on the right track. I mean, the front office need to get him on the right track, though, but...
Second most goals allowed in the league.
Yeah.
Last season,
exactly.
70.
Yeah.
That's up there. That's a lot.
Turns out just scoring goals doesn't win you games. Turns out you need help.
Who won the supporter shield last year?
Right.
So I guess if we look at, so that while we stay in the idea of categories and predictions and receipts and all, Tommy, I'll have you go last so you have a second to think about it. What is your must-watch match for this weekend? Henry, I'll go with you. I'll call on you.
Sure. For me, the must-watch is Seattle versus Charlotte. That's going to be Saturday night, 10:30 p.m. Eastern time. Look, for the most part, we all kind of had both of them among our top teams in either conference. Like we said, most of us had Seattle actually being first in the West, and a lot of us had Charlotte up in our top four. So I think it's going to be interesting to see those two teams with their revamped attacks, coming together for the first time and getting to really see if these, it's a clash between two of what should be the biggest teams in the league at this point. So I'm excited to see Zaha. I'm excited to see how all of this stuff comes together. It's a late night game, but I still think it's going to be interesting to see. I think that for me is the most interesting game of the week.
I'm going to say Cincinnati Red Bulls. Cincinnati, that new look attack. You have Denke, of course. Yeah, his first official match in MLS. Evander, his first match with Cincinnati. So you're going to really get that first look at what they can do together, what they can do with each other. And they have a pretty good opponent and Red Bulls, defending Eastern Conference champions. Emil Forsberg, what can he do to build on what he did last season? Lewis Morgan signing an extension with Red Bulls, as he continues to be one of the key players on that team. Can they? Is this the year that they break kind of that spell, that's so Metro spell, and not just get back to MLS Cup, but win it? This has kind of been a tortured franchise, a tortured club to some extent, and can they get themselves to a place where they can, again, not only compete to get back into MLS Cup, but win the whole thing? So that's my pick for match of the weekend, match day one.
I like it. It's Atlanta. I'm kidding. It's not Atlanta. No, I can't in good conscience pick the Atlanta game. The Atlanta game will be good for reasons mostly related to Atlanta because of Miggy and all that. But I really think for me, Galaxy San Diego, which is a Sunday game, and I see them talking about in the chat, you have, and it's not just because it's the newcomers. Like, it's always fun to see the newcomers, make their first appearance, kind of get an idea of what they've done in the years leading up to it, right? But the fact that it's Galaxy, they are the reigning champions. They also have a lot of injuries. I think everybody's going to want to see kind of where they're at and how they kick off the 2025 campaign, because you're not at full strength. And then there's also like that kind of pride of the Galaxy being the OGs, right? And then another California team comes poking their head into the mix. So I think there might be a little bit of spiciness because San Diego is going to be looking to make a name quick. It's the whole, like, you're in prison, go punch the big guy in the mouth kind of mentality. Like, let's go. Let's see what happens. And so no, I mean, I think that Sunday night game will be fun.
Arango playing Salt Lake. First game, right? That's a pretty cool story there. However, I will be the fanboy here. Atlanta United is going to reintroduce themselves to the league on Saturday. It's going to be the biggest crowd, right? I don't think the San Diego have a crazy large stadium.
I mean, not even Mercedes.
Oh yeah, they're not even.
That's away anyway.
Yeah, it's away. So screw that. It's going to be Atlanta, biggest crowd. You're gonna. The vibes are going to be back, right? All we saw were empty stadiums last season, right? We were made fun of showing our attendance for regular season games, Leagues Cup games, U.S. Open Cup games. It was embarrassing, right? And people, what happened to Atlanta United, right? But to quote Taylor Twellman, 70,000 fans, Mercedes-Benz Stadium. They are going to, the roof will not be open, most likely, but the roof will blow off.
I hope not.
Look, 50 degrees, guys, is like, I've been debating wearing shorts and a Speedo to the game, right?
No,
like,
don't do it.
I feel like I need to. It's 30 degrees more than what we have here. It's going to be pretty cool to watch. And I guess that's my point, is that like one of the coolest things when you watch this team years ago was that it was the crowd, right? Like there was just nothing like that else in the United States. It was just wild to hear that stadium go. And I think when you hear Miguel Almiron being announced, right, that place is going to go crazy. When he scores a goal on Saturday, it's going to be even crazier.
When he scores a goal.
When he scores a goal. I didn't misspeak there.
I know you did.
When he scores that goal, it's going to get absolutely wild there, right? Like Jurgen Damm is going to hear it in Oakland. That's how loud it's going to get in that stadium. That's how loud it's going to be. So that's what I'm going with.
I like it.
There we go.
I like it.
Proud,
so, huh?
I made you proud.
Yeah, you did. I appreciate it. I think the people are getting tired of me saying Atlanta for
People are tired of hearing me talk about Miami. So there we
go. So a couple of quick other little things from around the league. And as usual, well, I'll throw this out there too. Wednesday show, come back for all the Atlanta United stuff. We got a whole bunch of Atlanta stuff to talk about. So we'll dive into it big time. Patreon.com/Scarves and Spikes. Go jump in there. Low is $1.17 a month. Join the fantasy league, join everything else that we've got going on. We have a cool interview with a player, a repeat friend of the show that's going to be recorded tomorrow. That will
Jurgen Damm.
No, it's not Jurgen Damm.
We're starting our own USL show just for him. USL Tuesdays. Oakland and Oakland only.
You can host that by yourself.
Anybody named Jurgen Damm? But no, so we'll have that on the show on Wednesday as well. Come to the Signia on Saturday, opening day. Starting at 5:30, we'll end it at 6:30. So you guys got plenty of time to do other stuff, to get inside the bins, whatever else you want to do. It'll be a fun show. Hopefully by that point, we'll have a really cool announcement that we can make, but we can't say anything about that really cool announcement until we can really make the really cool announcement. So timing is a thing that we have no control over. But yeah, so come hang out with us Saturday. Signia Hotel's right across from the bins. It's literally right there next to the backyard. So y'all come hang with us.
Are you ending the show?
No, not yet. While we have people here,
you leave that to the end.
While we have people here, you gotta get it in the right time, right? It's all about the metrics. Let's go back to Evander for a minute. Evander put out a statement, I guess, his goodbye message. And I think some people thought it was a little spicy. One of the quotes in there as he left Portland, he said, "To the fans, no, this was never about money."
Anytime someone says it's not about money, it's about money.
Yeah, but then he says decisions were made by people who not only disrespected me, but also my family. People that don't truly represent what this club is about. And unfortunately, I was forced to leave.
It was about money.
Something about the money.
Money. That's why he got a contract extension when he got to Cincinnati, guys. It was about money.
That's why these comments make Saturday even more exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting, I feel like this has been one of those drama queen moments. And look, man, sometimes players just know how to sell themselves. And it's like the UFC. The more you put a bunch of crap around it, and the more you get into a fight in the press conference and all that kind of stuff, you just build hype. I feel like this has been going on for a long time. But either way, call it professional or unprofessional or whatever, the dude left and burned some bridges on the way out.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if Cincinnati play the Timbers in the regular season. I'm looking it up right now. Yeah, they don't play each other in the regular season. I mean, they could in the MLS Cup. That's not happening. No, August 26th, August 16th. Portland hosts Cincinnati. So
Oh.
get your popcorn ready for that game. Circle your calendars, August 16th.
Evander
Portland
back in Providence
Timbers
Park.
back
Oh
at Providence
boy.
Park. That's going to be must-see TV right there. But
Does he celebrate if he scores?
Oh, absolutely does. He'll run up to the supporters section, Timbers Army, and just like celebrate like he won MLS Cup.
This guy's one of the villains of MLS at this point.
Feels like it, doesn't it?
Yeah. My favorite thing is where he says, "I truly hope that one day the truth comes out." Like, dude, you're on the edge of just saying it. Just put it out there, man. Air out all the dirty laundry. Let's go.
Just wait for
Jerry.
wait for his source.
We
to
have a
spill out
show.
Details.
There's a show called MLS Mondays. If you would like to come on here and discuss that, we have chairs you could throw.
Watching or listening.
Yeah, chicken and rice you can throw.
We have a swearing button that we can beep. Like Sydney's always got his finger on it, ready for to click it when I'm about to say something. Like we've got it all for you. Just come on over and we'll have that conversation.
It'll be good therapy.
Doors open.
Our DMs are open, Evander.
Yeah.
Come on over.
I doubt he sees this.
We'll
or
send you a
listens to
Scarves
this,
and
but if he
Spikes
does-
beer glass.
Yeah.
There you go. You can drink the tears of your enemies from it.
Right.
I don't know. Anything else on Evander? I mean, what else can you say? Drama,
Yeah. Drama.
passion, anger.
No,
frustration.
absolutely.
Could you imagine him on a team with Chicho, Joseph, Lucho,
Oh gosh.
Dude.
Bruce
That
Arena?
literally would be an episode of Jerry Springer.
Yeah.
Find out Joseph's the father.
What?
Orlando for real. Randomly has a kid down there nobody knew about. Maury comes out. Anyway,
Hit the music. Are we hitting the music yet?
no, we still got to hear one more.
We got a couple more things.
Orlando
Speaking of
Orlando.
Orlando.
has traded. Well, let me rephrase that. Tom Bogert reporting that Orlando's trying to move Nico Lodiero and is it Jonathan Halliday? Or did I get his first name?
Michael
wrong?
Halliday.
Michael Halliday. So I did get it wrong. Halliday over to Houston. So we just got in talking about Houston. I felt like they need some help, but he's saying the terms for Halliday are set and Nico Lodiero is still being worked on. So does that change anybody's opinion about Houston or Orlando?
It definitely makes Houston better. Orlando, I still think they'll be among the better teams in the East. I don't think they're going to win the Shield or finish top 4, but they're going to push up the table, maybe make a move in the summer to get themselves better. So I don't know about now, but we'll see. They always struggle at the beginning and come out toward the end of the season, end of the season. So we'll see about that.
Is Lodero a DP for them? He's
I
not,
don't
right?
think so.
No, he's not. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I was gonna say if that frees up a DP slot for them, then more power to him. But
Yeah.
I think they had to. Lodero wasn't really what they wanted from him, so it makes sense to make that move for real. And then Halliday, I mean, I have nothing
It's a prospect.
really to say. As far as for Houston, I'm not sure why they're making these moves. I get that they need help in midfield, but I don't know if Lodero is going to give you what you want. Unless what you're looking for is depth, like purely depth.
Yeah.
And at that, I'm wondering what they'd be paying him, because you got to consider that the dude's age, he's past his prime. Like, can he really help you out the way you're expecting him to? I don't think so.
I think that's it.
Wait,
Daniel Rios is going to Vancouver.
That's the other big move.
That's it.
Big move.
For all the Atlanta fans, he is on loan again. So, but much love to Daniel. He
Best of luck.
He was solid when he was here. If they do happen to play Atlanta at some point, I hope you suck. But other than that, good luck to Daniel.
Now I think that's it.
That is it.
It's finally here. MLS is back.
Count all your receipts.
It will be clipped.
Yes, it will.
If you are a MLS head coach looking to play this in your locker room, go ahead and do it.
Please subscribe as well.
We'll take our medicine.
Well,
Are we done?
I think so.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go watch Monday Night Raw. This is I'm 24 minutes in and I've got FOMO. I gotta go catch it up.
FOMO is a real thing.
It is.
Yes, it is.
Hit the
Shall I
music.
hit the music?
Hit the music.
Hit the music.
We're gonna hang out Wednesday. Have predictions. Tyler, it's all Atlanta United predictions, so like you're not gonna be different.
Awesome. Awesome.
We were talking about Spoon. I thought maybe you'd just be really confused and you would actually say Atlanta United just because you're broken.
They're literally winning everything.
TylerPilgrim.exe has stopped working.
Yeah.
Control Alt Delete.
Right.
So, quick question.
Yeah.
Y'all know what a chantilly cake is?
No.
Is it like
Kelly cake?
cream? I don't know.
Chantilly.
Oh, chantilly cake. Chantilly
No,
cake.
it's my wife's birthday. So,
Oh, happy birthday, Maria.
No idea.
yeah.
Happy birthday to your wife.
They have this chantilly cake at Publix, and I got there and totally realized that I didn't quite understand what a chantilly cake was. But
Well, what is it?
What is it?
but they have one that's a tres leche cake, which is freaking amazing. If you've never had tres leche,
Yes.
it's amazing. But anyway, it's chantilly cake. It's like this cream with like fruit. It's like the really pretty cake with the fruit that surrounds it and all. Quite tasty. But go to Publix and go get you one of their chantilly cakes. They're off the chain.
Hashtag ad.
Yeah,
Hashtag not sponsored.
not sponsored.
You should get a sponsor.
Please sponsor us, Publix or Kroger or whoever.
It's funny you say that, Tommy, because I can't say anything yet. Can
Oh,
I?
nope.
Lips are sealed.
Well, Home
Still
Alone 3 has
finalizing
been
the
looking
details
for
of
a
that
sponsor.
transfer.
Yeah. All right, guys. Have a
Bye,
good
guys.
Monday.
See y'all.
See ya.